Yo, yo, I've been looking at this formation and I just don't know what the plan is here. I don't know. So, the way it looks here, now let me open it. It looks deceptive, right? It looks like it covers the whole page. Obviously, this is how formations are shown. But this is not what the 4-1-4-1 formation is. It actually looks more akin to something like this. You see the 4-1-4-1 formation with four defenders, one sole defensive midfielder. This is important. Four other midfielders, because defensive midfield and other mid are different, and a lone striker. I don't know what this setup is. I'm I'm unsure what this setup is about. Now, I want you to look at this. It says it is a system built around defensive solidity and controlling the middle third. The holding midfielder, that will be Karasu right here, is the linchpin of this formation. It's effective against possession-based teams as it creates a compact block of 5 players across the midfield. These are the 5 players. They look like wingers here, but we'll get to that later. Forward players typically have the freedom to push high when in possession, converting to the shape of equal to a 4-3-3. Okay. If you look at the strengths here, excellent defensive protection, compact midfield, can quickly transition to 4-3-3, as you can see here. It would seem that the profile, first of all, of players here is incorrect. Now, Karasu as the pivot here has been tried and tested. There really isn't any contention in that. But what is the point of Esagi? Esagi is not a midfielder. What is the point of him being here? It looks like he's a double 10, but this is not the 4-1-2-3. This is the 4-1-4-1. And the 4 here is a midfield. It's not attacking midfield. Why not have Bachira here? Why not have him play? Why not have him start? Why not have Saki coming off the bench? Especially since his role here is to be a midfielder first, not a striker, which is what he is. Also, it says that the wide midfielders provide flexibility. Zantesu is not a flexible player. Zantesu is a textbook run down, hog the wing, cut inside, and cross. He is not a wide midfielder who is yet to control possession and follow his man and, okay, do I run with the winger? Oh, do I do this? Or do I enter into contribute to possession? If it was going to be him, why not just play Rio here and have Chiki restart as right back? Why? I'm quite confused for this decision. Now, Yukimiya, on the other hand, is a bit different. Yukimiya is a dribbler. He's very good on the ball. The issue is dribbling in midfield and dribbling out wide are two different things. Having to squirm around and zigzag in the midfield, checking your shoulder, scanning around to see who's free, little touches to go between players, through balls, is different from running down the wing and beating 2 or 3 people. It's a different skill set. It's not the same thing. Now, because of his stint at Bastard Munchen, he did have experience playing left back, so he probably has some defensive acumen to him. But that's about it. He's a winger. Him and Zantesu are wingers through and through. Now, obviously, when attacking, they will act as wingers. But in the 4-1-4-1 formation, they are to act as midfielders first, and they simply are not midfielders. This I'm quite confused. Also, one of the strengths of this formation is to create a compact midfield to control possession against possession-based teams. Is England a possession-based team? England historically did not produce the kind of players who control possession anyway. Now let's look at the weaknesses. The striker can become very isolated. This is immediately apparent. This is I don't think I need to explain this. Relies heavily on the quality of the holding midfielder. That one we have ticked. can lack of creativity in the final third. The wide midfielder must cover huge distances. Now, Kamia will very likely put in the work, Zantete will put in the work, that's not an issue. But they are vulnerable to overloads on the flanks. Now, will we see this? I doubt intentionally we'll see, but I think we will see it in the game. Now, it says that this is good for teams facing against a stronger opponent and for teams with a counter-attacking football. Now, Blue Lock's style is not necessarily to defend and then attack in a transitory football. Their style is to start from deep, progress the ball forward into dangerous areas, and then try and score. They're not the kind of team that sits back. I don't think they've ever even done that since their inception. So this is quite interesting. If you look at the key positions, it says the DM must read the game brilliantly and must never be pulled out of position. Karasu would have to have been given strict instructions, which goes against the entire point of Blue Lock and having an ego. The lone striker needs excellent physical and technical ability to play alone. Shido is a poacher. Shido is, for me, a box striker. Now, obviously, you can say, oh, he scored goals from outside the box. That's not what I mean. Shido is somebody who goes in and around the box, is most dangerous here, and needs people to create for him. He needs crosses into the box. He needs through balls to his feet. He needs balls over the defensive line. He doesn't have build-up play like that. And he's not a ball progressor on his own, which is where Barrow would come in. This is literally exactly Barrow's sort of play. This is Barrow's role right here. The wide midfielders must be prepared to defend, as I believe that's supposed to mean fullbacks, and attack as forwards. Now, will they do it? Yes. Santetsu has the energy and will do as is told. And Yukimiya has experience as a fullback. And the central midfielders. One should be more attacking, pushing forward to support the striker. Now that would be Isagi. But this role would be better suited, of course, for somebody who was originally a midfielder and not a striker playing as a midfielder. Now, if it was a striker who could play as a midfielder, that would be satisfactory. In fact, that might even be better. Do I think Isagi could play? I think Isagi contributes in build-up. I think he's good enough with his link-up play. But the notion that Isagi is a midfielder is quite simplified. It's quite basic. It's almost rudimentary. I quite disagree. So is this what the author was thinking? No. I don't think he was losing any sleep over, what formation he was gonna put. I think he just saw it and thought, okay, I have a basic idea of what this is. Let me use it. Now, this is the interesting part. There are various ways of countering the 4-1-4-1. One is to exploit the sides, and another is to pack the midfield and pressure defensive midfielder. If the English team, which are, again, historically physical, simply decide to go after Karasu and simply press him whenever he has the ball, and Karasu always receives the ball, as he's usually the beginning of Blue Lock's build-up, well then they might be in a bit of trouble here. It would rely on Hirori, Isagi, Zantetsu, Yukimiya, and maybe even everybody having to support and pack the midfield. Obviously, if Yukimiya and Zantetsu come inside, Kiori, or rather Kiora, and Ryo will have to bomb up. And here I question the pick. I understand Kiora, but Ryo would have been better suited in the role that Zantetsu is playing. Let's return of them to the positions. Now, is England a possession-based team? No, they're not. They historically don't produce the kind of players that control possession. Whether that was intentional or a fault on their parts is up for debate. But they will very likely look for quick transitions, quick balls over the top, or look to play directly to the striker. They introduced a player called Teddy Knight, and he's a dribbler. So he on his own could just progress the ball. let's say he wins it, he gets past this line here. He gets past this group of people. It's only Karasu here. Karasu is the only person here. One defensive midfielder in the modern game is not enough. I'm sorry to say. If he gets past this line and it was like this, it's literally only Karasu. Block it in shit. It is in trouble. I call into question the entire setup here. You know, like, what was the point of this? As you can see, I have the players I would rather have played written in question marks here. But look, tell me what you think. I'm not sure this is going to go well. I think England might just they might break this forward line, this midfield line here, and have to deal with a lone Karasu, and one man cannot deal with everybody. So tell me what you think in the comments. When the chapter comes out, I'll make a review of it. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'm out of here. That's just cooking some shit. He's cooking shit.